if you're living paycheck to paycheck, what do you do to start? Because where are you just going to come up with 6 months of income? If you're living paycheck to paycheck right now and you want to have an emergency fund, then this episode is for you. My name's Phil, and I'm sure if you've surfed looking for personal finance videos or solutions, then I'm sure you've heard the advice to have an emergency fund. And it's excellent advice. You do need to have somewhere at least between a 3 to 6 months cushion that if something were to happen to you, you have that cushion, that nest egg to be able to fall back on. But what happens if you're living paycheck to paycheck? Not a whole lot of people really talk about that. They kind of go from the idea that you need to have an emergency fund straight to how much that emergency fund should be, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year. Today, I want to give you some of the keys that helped me actually build to go from nothing to an emergency fund. It didn't happen overnight, but I want to give you those keys today and a couple simple things that you can do if you're living paycheck to paycheck. So early in my personal finance journey, I actually didn't know that you needed an emergency fund. My idea was that I could just start putting a little bit of money away and saving it. I thought of it kind of like a rainy day fund, but then I made this interesting discovery, and that was high interest bearing accounts. So early on, I think like 2002, there was this company called ING Direct. And I realized that if I opened that account, I could begin making money on my money. And my original idea was, because of compound interest and because of high interest accounts, that if I could just put as much money in those accounts as possible, it would generate me an income. I had been putting my money in both savings accounts at ING Direct, and then I discovered CDs, and I realized you make even more money on the CDs. You make more interest on the CDs because they kind of lock it in. It was a fun idea. It was just a way to kind of earn some extra money. I didn't really have a big goal or vision for it other than if I wanted to accumulate a lot of money, I realized it had to be through things like interest, and CDs were secure. There was very little risk with them because they're also insured, FDIC insured. Later on, I started watching Suze Orman on CNBC, and she started talking about having a savings ladder, a CD ladder. And so my idea was to have CDs that were staggered so that if I had to redeem them, that it wouldn't affect them all. And I'll go into it later in a different video because it may or may not be the right plan of attack for you. I did it in different increments. And watching Suze Orman, I realized I actually needed an emergency fund. So I set those CDs up to be my emergency fund. And the way I did it was I had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 year CDs. And with each of those CDs, I had a month's worth of expenses that I had built up over time. And this took me a long time to do. It didn't just happen overnight. I had a savings account, which would have been month number 1, and then the 1 year CD would have been year 2, 2 year CD would have been 3, 4, and 5. And that gave me 6 months. And if I built that up, it would basically give me a 6-month cushion. And so I kind of backed into having an emergency fund. It didn't just happen overnight. But for a lot of folks out there, they may already have large expenses and they might not have 6 months of income to just dump into a high interest savings account. And of course, an emergency fund should be in something that you can access pretty readily. Something that you could access within, say, 48 hours even. I guess you could have it in something that would tie it up a little longer than that, but you really want to have it so it's accessible, so that if an emergency comes up, hence the term emergency fund, that you can go and get it immediately, even a local bank. And the purpose of it isn't necessarily to be some high interest instrument. It's more so to be a safe repository so that you can have something to fall back on if something were to happen. You know, common things, medical emergencies. You understand the whole purpose of it. I think most people watching this video probably understand the value of an emergency fund. And the point of this video isn't proving that to you. The point of this video is, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, what do you do to start? Because where are you just going to come up with 6 months of income? So here's what I came up with, because I figured I did it kind of backwards, but if you're starting out now, then you have to have some place to go. And I came up with 3 simple things that you can begin to build your emergency fund with right now. So the first thing is, and I'm hesitant to even say it because I can already see what the comments are, and don't hesitate, don't hold back, be honest with me. I need your engagement in the comments to understand how I can help you. So please be honest And if I'm just out in la la land, you can tell me. But so the first one is you might have to squeeze the budget. And I know people aren't going to like that, but maybe you can't afford the latte right now. Maybe the $20 burrito is a little too much for you. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, you may have to squeeze the budget. And that part I'm serious about. You might have to take a look at your budget and actually find where you can cut. You know, I know there's a lot of gamers out there that might have the higher speed internet because they need the download speed. I understand it. But if you're looking for a place to squeeze, there might be something out there. Maybe it's negotiating on your cell phone plan. Maybe it's your internet. Maybe it's how much you eat out. You don't have to cut it out completely, but just find a way to squeeze the budget a little bit. Maybe it's negotiating on your homeowner's insurance or your car insurance, or, you know, if you want to get really drastic, maybe you sell the car and get a used beater for a little while until you find yourself in a situation where you have a margin, a little bit extra that you can start to put away. That's when you can start to build up an emergency fund. So that's the first thing, is to squeeze the budget. And that should be a temporary thing. It doesn't have to be permanent. I know in my own personal life, and God bless my family, I've kind of made it a permanent thing. But we're slowly easing out of that. We're doing better, and you don't have to live in that mode forever. But if you don't have an emergency fund, if you don't live in that mode now, you might find yourself in that mode whether you like it or not. So you might as well do it on your own terms, where you have the opportunity to make the changes and the cuts you want to, rather than the cuts that you have no choice about. But anyway, number 2, and I know I did a video about anti-hustle culture, and I am not one for just complete hustle, work your life away. I think there does need to be a work-life balance. But number 2 is, if you need some extra margin, if you need to be able to build up your emergency fund, maybe you need to hustle for a little while. Maybe you need to get that second gig work out there just for a little while, just to get the emergency fund built up. I'm not advocating you having 3 jobs and never sleeping and not having a work-life balance. What I'm telling you is that if you do a little bit of hustling now, it might give you the opportunity that in the future, when there's an emergency, you have a cushion. And the nice part about gig work is you don't have to do it forever. You can kind of just do it as you need to do it. And you can do it just until you hit that goal. But you might have to hustle for a little while. Number 3 is, and I'm not telling you to go out there and start playing the lottery or pray that your rich grandparents pass away. But I am saying to keep your eyes open for the opportunity. And, you know, I love the quote that says that good luck finds those who work hard, or something to that effect. Tell me in the comments what the right quote is, but I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said it. I love that, the concept of it, that luck finds the people who work hard. And if that's you, just keep your eyes open. But when a windfall comes, use that as an opportunity not to go out and blow it and just spend the money. And I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy something, even an inheritance. It's not a bad idea to celebrate someone's life if you do get an inheritance. But what better way to celebrate somebody's life than maybe to put a little bit away for an emergency fund? I'm sure that a relative would love the idea that your future is more secure, that you can think differently, act differently, work differently, enjoy life differently, knowing that you're not just one paycheck away from, you know, total financial ruin. That would be a blessing, I would think, if my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, if they were in a paycheck-to-paycheck situation and I were to pass away and leave them money, I would love the idea that they were able to use that as to start an emergency fund, to build that cushion in the nest egg, and for them to feel that different feeling. I can't tell you how much different I feel having an emergency fund. It seems like such a trivial thing. It's a financial thing, and it might seem boring, but I can't tell you how many different decisions in life that are just different for me because I'm not so worried. I think I work better, I eat better, I exercise better, everything. It affects every area of your life because we're not meant to live paycheck to paycheck forever. And just like we're not meant to hustle forever, we're also not meant to live on the edge forever. It's very stressful. It's hard on you physically. And so if that means you take that windfall and maybe you set aside a little bit towards the emergency fund, there you go. So what happens if you've created a little bit of a margin for yourself and you now have the ability to take a little of the surplus and put it away for a rainy day? How do you approach that? Well, I've been thinking about different ways to do that, and I thought, a lot of people aren't going to have maybe $5,000 a month for 6 months to put away. But psychologically, one of the ways that you can start to approach it is think about the way your bills are. Let's say you have a water bill, your electric bill, your mortgage, your car payment. As that margin is created through some of the habits you're doing, whether it's squeezing the budget or doing a little side hustle or you come into a little bit of money, take that margin and apply it towards a bill and put that amount in your savings account. So let's say your electric bill is $100. Start to get a month ahead on all of your bills. Just one bill, 1 month at a time, if that's what it takes. Maybe your water bill is $50. Mine, I think, is about $58 a month. It's a lot where I live, but for some people, that's probably nothing. Take $58 and put that in a savings account and do that 6 times. Then maybe the next time, and it might take a long time. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something you need to start today, though. Start today. And month after month, as you find those areas of margin and you start to plug them into that savings account, next thing you know, it starts to grow. Now, there's one element of this that I can't superficially emboss it. I can't put it through the camera here and just magically give it to you, and that is discipline. You've got to have that discipline. That's something that I can't just instill by encouragement. You actually have to develop that. That's something that you have to make a decision that you want to do it. And for a lot of the people watching my videos, you've probably heard a lot of this stuff before. And maybe that's you and you're just watching because you want some positive reinforcement, and that's great. That's the kind of folks that I want around. That's what I want in the comments. Encourage the people that are watching this video like, hey, I did this. I changed my life this way. This is how it's affecting me differently. Encourage people like that. I would love that. I watch a lot of personal finance videos too because I want that positive motivation. I want the reinforcement that I'm doing the right thing. And if that's you, I'm glad you're here. Subscribe. I want you as a subscriber. And if you're somebody who is in a situation where you're learning about this, maybe you're learning later in life than you should, or maybe you're younger, subscribe. Let's develop a community here where we can help each other. Through the comments, we can talk to each other and you can communicate with me. I'll do my best to respond to everything I can, but more importantly, I want this to be a place where the people out there see the people they can help and they can give them the good advice. And I'm not saying I know everything, I certainly don't. I've had some personal successes in my life, and one of them, it's heavily weighted on the idea that when things have happened to me throughout my life, I had the emergency fund. So the way you can start that, just to recap, 3 ways you can create some margin. Squeeze your budget a little bit. Negotiate, treat it like a business. Squeeze the bills. Contact your vendors. Those are the people that you buy things from. Squeeze them a little bit. That you don't have to do a lot, just a little bit. Create a little bit of margin. Number 2, you might have to hustle for a little while. And then number 3, keep your eyes open for the opportunity for a windfall. If that's you, I hope and pray that something good happens to you and creates that. And when it does, here's the key. Look at 1 bill per month. Start small if you need to. Get some momentum. Get yourself encouraged. The key is taking that margin and having an idea what you want to do with it so you don't just let your impulses extract it from you. Maybe you want to go to the movies 3 times a week. I don't know why. There's not that many great movies out there, and I love movies, but go once a week. Something. Create some margin. Do something different. And you will see an impact when you start to build this up over time. It's not going to happen overnight. If you're in the middle of that right now, that's called the messy middle. And it can be hard and difficult. It can be lonely. Feels like you're shouting into a void. Sometimes you're on your knees praying. Sometimes you're crying. Sometimes you're laughing. But you know what? If you're out there, just be encouraged. It's possible. Even with all the challenges we have out there, it's possible. You can do it. I want to encourage you right now. You can do it. Don't give up on your dreams. A lot of what I talk about starts with a dream. It starts with a vision for the future. It starts with a purpose You know, my purpose is my family. My purpose is helping you. Those things motivate me to do what I do. They've motivated me to stay financially secure so that I can talk to you right now. They've motivated me to do a good job at work because I love what I do, but because I want the resources to be able to speak to you, to be able to spend time with my children. Those are the reasons. Find your motivation, find your why, and everything else will follow. Money is not just about dollars and cents on a spreadsheet. That's the easy part. The math should be the easy part. It's difficult for some people, I understand. The hard part's the why, and letting that why be louder than the impulses that are pulling you in every direction. So I hope that encouraged somebody out there today. And if it has, let me know in the comments. More importantly, if there's something that you're struggling with or you need help with or you need advice in, I can't say I have all the answers, but I think all of us out there and the resources that we share, we do have a lot of the answers. And more importantly, we have the experiences that we have in our own lives. So if that's you, leave a comment and tell us how we can help you. But more importantly, don't wait for a windfall, by the way. Don't go out and play the lottery in hopes that you're gonna, that's spending money anyway, so don't go out there and play the lottery hoping for a windfall. You might have to get some hard work in, you might have to actually, and I know that people out there who are watching this who are already burning the candle at both ends, and just, you're gonna have to squeeze your budget, you're gonna have to make it work. You may have to just re-examine everything and think about how you can approach things differently and think different. I know it can be done. I know it can be done. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope this encouraged you out there. Please subscribe if this has helped you and you want more great content like this. And more importantly, we'll see you next time.